All right, so this is the second match of Ribbit 4. The first one you guys just watched is Black Wings. I cannot for the life of me remember what this one is. Do you guys remember?
I I don't.
It
No.
wasn't Black Wings. This is either Ancient Gear or Monarch. So this is Ancient Gear we're playing against. And I'm
Right,
feeling
that sounds
comfortable.
right.
And the reason I'm feeling comfortable is because I think I have a good matchup against this deck. The reason I should be afraid is this deck just beat Souls, our teammate who's like extremely top tier, and he later said it was because he made some misplays, but whatever. And another reason I should be afraid is I got knocked out of the last tournament of the last Ribbit from an Ancient Gear player. So,
Yeah.
yeah, but I don't. I think I win the die roll. I think I win the die roll. Oh yeah, we're feeling good. Okay, we don't have anything real. So this sucks, right? This is so close to something relevant, and maybe I should have even set the flip flop after I bounce this back. But like we are, it's like these pot of avarice. These have been the bane of my existence in this tournament, and I know I'm playing this hyper aggressive deck. I know he's gonna summon a gear frame with a fortress on his first turn. I know I'm going to half right away, and if he has anything to back it up, which he almost could have. This terraforming plus heavy, he could have added 3k damage. He could put me at 700 with a trap dash shoot. Maybe that's what he should have done. I don't know. But a flip flop would have only done so much. So exactly what I said. Whoa, whoa. Oh yeah, he gets rid of the ancient. I was like, wait, did he do something really silly and I missed it? He did not. So yeah, I just tank it to the face because I'm pretending like I'm playing Chain Burn up in here. And I guess even if he thought I was playing Frog Monarchs, he wouldn't do this. So I'm not entirely sure. But yeah, the trap dash shoot hurts because I think. Okay, no, I don't get anything relevant.
Yeah, I'm trying to think like what destruction are you protecting from in like a frog deck?
Yeah, Mobius, and you just turned it on.
Well, yeah, it'd be like Zaborg or something.
Right. So my hand that was supposed to aggressively pitch these blasters. So that was actually my plan this turn. I knew he was going hyper aggressive, so I was like, okay, well he's gonna make his big aggressive play. Oh, Cataster. This protects against Cataster, which was the play I was gonna make.
Oh, that's really funny.
And I would have lost because of brain control. So good thing I didn't do that. Yeah. Wow. Okay. I need to keep that in mind. But I guess aggro is aggro, right? What are you gonna do? But yeah, so my plan was use the swap, aggressively pitch my hand, make the Cataster. When it dies, Pot of Avarice is live, and you get a second try at things. And there's really cool stuff you can do, because you want to special summon the swap that turn anyway, because you're trying to get the Borg in the grave. You bounce the Treeborn, and then you extra normal the flip-flop. So I could have made a level 7, I think. It would have cost a lot of cards, but there's cool stuff you can do. And that's how you play through those grind hands, but what I ended up doing was setting a Fishboard Blaster, which normally I'm terrified to do, because there's plenty of reasons why. These Borgs are very valuable. But against them, I know that like a Marshmallow hard counters this deck, so I know like stalling with Treeborn is a legitimate strategy. This basically says heal for 3,000, so I'm feeling okay.
Yeah, the only thing you're worried about is the golem, which pierces.
Yeah, I forgot about that, and I didn't even think about that. And I was also terrified that if he had any normal summon here, I lose. So if he'd used brain control, I lose.
Wow, yeah.
Yeah,
If he'd taken the Treeborn,
why didn't you just
taken
bring
the
control?
Treeborn, he saw my hand. So if this was flip flop, let's not get into the we have a long turn to watch, but there might have been a play. Brain control is really good. I side this in basically always. All right. So here I do that play I was talking about, but much worse. Because normally you have a level 2 frog, but here I only had Treeborn, Flip Flop, and Fishborg, so I had a minus for that, and this is just to make Pot of Avarice live. So we're gonna suicide this Armory Arm. These are desperation plays. See, these are times when Carpath would scoop, and I just do not have it in me.
Yeah.
All
You
right.
really would.
So let's see what kind of magic we can pull off. So I'm basically praying for a 1-for-1 because I had to use my normal summon already. Yeah, I lost. I don't remember what I drew, but it wasn't good. We tried though. All right, we're going first again.
How to impersonate? He's probably expecting Caius.
That's really funny. Yeah, because I didn't do anything. That's the benefit of
Right.
doing nothing.
Right.
So we get to do
Yeah,
cool
you get
stuff.
them to have weird sideboard that you put.
Yeah, that's really funny because Keegan was hyping this up so much, which I still think it's good, but it's not crazy.
Oh yeah, especially with everybody playing zombies, Blackwing, and Vayu, like
Yeah,
Shadow Imprisoning was kind of insane for this tournament.
Oh god, there were so many zombies.
And
yeah,
the
but
other thing is you have like when I'm siding against your deck, like there's so much stuff that like does absolutely nothing against you. Like every battle trap, it can sometimes hit
yeah,
a Unifrog, all it's ever gonna hit.
yeah,
And
and
so
sometimes it does matter, but yeah, almost always it's
yeah,
just dead.
yeah. So I'll just side in everything that might have like a 1% chance of actually affecting you, any kind of interaction at all that like
Yeah.
is chainable or anything.
And that has proven to stop me a lot for sure. But if I get to go first like this, I'm sitting pretty.
Right.
So here I just do the basic setup play. It's really easy to forget, but swap plus any frog and a salvage is combo. So we get to do combo here, and we're feeling real good with Pot of Avarice and Exodius too. We can be really aggressive. So this isn't guaranteed, but if you fail, you summon Exodius and do hard do block. So you get to go all in. And we didn't draw either of those cards, so we're feeling good. Or we drew a swap, never mind, but whatever. But yeah, so it's really easy to forget that you don't have Fishborg. And when I practice by myself, I forget all the time. So here, I had to do it again. I had to just minus for Swap Frog for no reason, just because I need to get it in my graveyard. And this is scary, right? Because I don't have a Fishborg to continue this. Oh, wait, never mind. I paused it the wrong time. But that does come up later. But yeah, we're just digging. And we finally found the Fishborg. So that's actually a new strat. I mentioned that in my new tutorial that I leave swap out now. So it used to be leave poison draw out, and then it became leave dupe out, but now I leave swap out. Because if you draw a Fishborg, then you want to bounce it and special summon it. Otherwise, you just send it because most of the time you weren't going to get to do that anyway. Because the second or third Pot of Avarice is always going to end you, is always going to not use 3 draws. One Pot of Avarice will use 3 poison draws, and the other one will do 2. So it doesn't really matter how you desync it. It's all desync no matter what. And this is a situation where you could maybe use 1 for 1, but I just generally don't. Minuses suck. Especially when you just want to get poison draws out of your deck. So drawing Dandelion's cool. This is a tricky thing that comes up a lot where you want to clear out your monster zones. So having Murray, I've been aggressively pulling out swaps, even if they're not shooting anything, just to use Murray. And it times out really well with Dandelion sometimes like this, where you get the advantage. And I didn't do it because I had to send everything back. So I'm going to do something funky again. I'm going to do something I normally didn't used to do, where I think I do 1 poison draw with swap, even though I have 4 frogs still in my deck. We'll see if I do it.
Yeah, I noticed like you
Oh,
used to always build the board out and then collapse it down, whereas sometimes with this build you're just like going one. You're just like sending one at a time.
yeah.
Which
And
is
it's just because
interesting.
you're afraid. But I sided in the other Dandelion. And I was like, I don't think he's on Crow, but I think this card just kind of counters his deck. So I brought it in. And it gave me extra value, so that worked out. So I just go ahead and make a synchro right off the bat. Wow, yeah, that's unusual. So I'm committed to 1 Stardust, because again, I'm cool with the flip-flop. I think I had enough cards, but it would have been so minus.
Morphing jar is super interesting.
Yeah. Wow, I didn't even consider that. I assumed this was a Peacekeeper, but...
Yeah,
Wow.
I wouldn't know what to think if I saw that. If I saw a set in the Ancient Gear deck.
Okay. This is another situation. This came up in the first match. When I do my Mistworm play, I keep the spell a trap to turn off Gores. Again, I don't think he has Gores, but turn it off. Something I forget when I'm playing by myself, that you can do stuff like that.
Yeah, maybe all the practice games by yourself. Had a little
They're
bit
kind of a
downside.
liability at this point. Okay, so that one was cool. I just explained it and he did it. I'll take your word for it. That was great. What are you summoning? I said, hey, this is game. Believe me. I'm okay with any follow-up question. You ask me anything. Save us both some time, all right? Cool. I'll take your word. All right. Love it.
Yeah. I
And I
mean,
told
after
you.
seeing like the turn one, it's like, okay, you're doing all kinds of things I never knew were possible. So
So yeah, and I told him at the end. So maybe I'll ping him on Discord or something that I would make a video explaining the combo, so he knows I'm not lying. Hey, pulling the rug. He did what?
Yeah.
Okay, so
yeah.
Eris and I tested, and he said you really should bring in Caius. And everyone wants me to bring in Caius, especially people in the Discord. I'm like, it's just too scary, man, because people have these pulling the rugs in their side for everything. You bring them in against everything, and they can stop me. If I bring in Caius, I lose. Like.
Yeah. I'm already
cool.
bringing him in, because that's like what I was just saying, where I side in everything. It's like because some turns, if you start slow and you just have to go swap, send Treeborn or something like that, I'm just like, I'll just pulling on that, like anything I can do to stop you from getting anything going.
If that's the play I had to do, that pulling the rug is winning you the game. Otherwise, my card plays around whatever you sided out anyway. So, but yeah, MST is going to come up later. That was one thing I look at later, and I might have cost me my top. But yeah, so what do we have? Brick City, dude, 3 extenders. Look, there's so many cards in here. Why do these keep on getting my opening hand, dude? And then at least not like give me a swap or something, dude. These double Borg hands. So okay, this was a really cool play that also almost cost me the match.
Is it the attack to foolish or?
Yeah. So I attack, and I have no idea what I'm sending. I just know I'm doing it. So in my brain, when I did this, when I slammed this down, I was gonna use salvage to bring back a Subzitoad that I send and the Fishborg. But I had to send back a monster when I summoned Exodia, so that was like a huge brain fart. I was like, oh my god, what a terrible decision. So I was like, I just lost. So I'm like, you know what? This was calculated. This is to stall for a turn. I'm just praying to the gods now. It actually ended up being really smart, I think. Because it just gave me a turn to set up the Fishborg without a swap. And then, yeah, I Spirit drew the Substoad. I needed to draw Swap Frog or Substoad. So there's a good number of cards to draw. There's 6. So it was only like a 1 in 3 chance, or what, a 1 in 6 chance. I don't know. It wasn't that crazy lucky, but this was the ideal. And here we do my favorite part of this game, where you ignore their back row. Which was very wise. And I should have done it more, if I'd done that more today. So this, I could have been digging, and I should have, so this is a misplay too. So I'm already tilted from making my mistake. I didn't need to bin all of these poison draws. I should have used a salvage to get 2 more digs with these poison draws, because I have the Fishborg Blaster. There's no reason not to do that. But I do know a lot of the times I have to use Pot of Avarice to get me started. So I do like doing this, though. I do like using Pot of Avarice, and that was really smart. I actually knew halfway through that I messed up. So I was like, okay, let's leave one of these swaps in here and discard the swap I have, so that now my deck is 3 poisons, 3 swaps. So when I messed up, I unmessed up a little bit, so that was nice. And that feels pretty good, because that's all Upstart is in here for. You play Upstart so that when you Pot of Avarice and have 6 frogs in your deck you don't want to draw, these are placeholders in your hand to let you do it. So that was like so ideal. You just get rewarded. Like, so no punishment here. Like, the past matches, swap was killing me, but not here. And yeah, I'm on 2 dandies still, I think. Let's see if I do anything cool. Heavy, alright. Okay, so when he did this, I was planning on doing Colossal Fighter Armory Arm. I was like, okay, we'll dig for a card, we'll dig for a sweeper, then we'll Colossal Fighter Armory Arm. Easy peasy. And then he did this. I was like, okay, heads up play. Like, good job. But now your entire board's gone, so I just heavied you. So now when I make my stable board, like, what are you going to do? And this is another problem. Like, this is something I've been debating with Dimitri a lot. So this is me blatantly ignoring a suggestion. He wants me to take out this Iron Wall a lot, because we want to play, like, more of a fair game. You make your strong board and you win, like, you do your OP draw stuff, and then with your big, powerful board, you just win naturally from there. But I just like threatening infinite. I think we both settled that it's correct to have Iron Wall for infinite when it comes to the choices. But here, me having it was an answer to this because I couldn't Colossal Fighter or Armory Arm. So now I'm making a stable board that's actually threatening infinite still, which is huge. And yeah, here we're setting up synchros. 2 dandies with a Death Frog. Feels real good. And we didn't draw any, so that's all that matters. All you have to do is not draw Death Frog. You don't care. Like I don't even know if I touch all the dandies or any of them. I think I discard this Murray. Man, it would be nice if they fast forwarded this one. There should just be a button like a checkbox.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. Okay.
The classic end board.
Yeah. We did this a lot because things don't go our way very much.
Yeah, I noticed that. I was like, I didn't see you get into Double Stardust that often, honestly.
Yeah. Things did not go my way. So this is something I meant to mention in the last video. I was planning on doing 50 test hands before R.B.E.T. But I actually did 40 test hands. I have replays, so I might even make some crazy long, boring video if you guys care. So comment if you care to see something like that. But in the test hands, I bricked, 5 times? 6 times? And, only one of them was a hard brick. All of them were bricks that I would win, 2 or 3 turns, 1 or 2 turns later. So as long as they don't have something crazy as long as there's not an impression, I'm still going to do cool stuff. So in a matchup like this, those hands would be fine. I feel like I bricked much more than that in this tournament. So he makes his big monster, and I'm happy I have the flip-flop, but it just doesn't matter. And this is another thing I like. With my play for poking for... my play to poke for Mistworm, I like it because it's hey, I'm doing something that's tangible. You can see what I'm doing. These are real plays that make kind of sense. That set something up. When I slam the Mistworm, I say, okay, everything's gone. Now I'm going infinite, and that's it's just your cue,
Right.
So yeah, I make the Mistworm, and I practiced this 100 times, and I said, this is infinite.
He's Googling your cards. I remember that comment.
Yeah. Which is funny, and I was happy to explain it. I used to take the time to explain stuff to people, but now I'm just let's get to the next one because, I'm just trying. I'm not trying to hold the tournament. Now that we're in round 3 of winners, we're not holding up the tournament at all. No big deal.
Yeah, we were saying that we're okay, now, you're never gonna hold up the tournament at this point because there's so much losers bracket was so far behind you that
Yeah.
You were never in danger of holding it up at this point.
Which is a kind of an interesting point. Maybe we can talk about this later, but the idea of the rules only being imposed in losers bracket or something, or just early on,
Yeah.
where it's it's strictly enforced there, but loosely enforced later because it's whatever. Fair's fair. But he had some really really aggro stuff he was going to be able to do, but Duplock counters this deck, so
Yeah,
we don't
our teammate Fen, who played Ancient Gear for a while, she was watching actually. At least in game 1, I saw her on the watcher's side over there on the left. She likens Ancient Gear to a burn deck because it's just do as much damage as you can, and you're losing card advantage. You're giving it up for with the limiter removal and Megamorph and all this stuff. It's just we're just doing damage. We're just trying to kill you.
That breakout version of the deck had Magic Cylinder, remember?
Yeah, that's right.
But yeah, so we will continue the conversation in the next one. Tune in, 3rd game, winners bracket, R.B.E.T. 4.